10 Reasons Why People Strike It Rich by David Russo. Chapter 1 Vision, Seeing What Others Miss. Wealth, in its most profound form, often begins long before any money changes hands. It begins in the mind. The individuals who strike it rich are not always the ones born into privilege or armed with advanced degrees. Often, they are the ones who learn to see what others overlook. Vision, the ability to recognize opportunity where others see only chaos, confusion, or the status quo, is one of the most powerful engines of wealth creation. Visionaries perceive the world differently. While most people focus on the present, the visionary's gaze stretches into the future. They detect shifts in culture, technology, or human behavior before those changes become obvious. This foresight allows them to position themselves advantageously, often years ahead of the crowd. It's not magic, it's a mindset. It's the willingness to ask, what's coming next? What does the world need that it doesn't yet realize? Take any major breakthrough, whether in business, art, or technology, and you'll find someone who imagined a possibility no one else believed in at the time. Visionaries don't simply react to the world, they interpret it. Where some see outdated systems, they see an opportunity for reinvention. Where others see market saturation, they see the one angle no one has tried. Their wealth is built not on following trends, but on anticipating them. Crucially, vision is not the same as guessing. People who strike it rich through vision make decisions driven by observation, curiosity, and pattern recognition. They notice what others ignore, small annoyances the average person shrugs off, emerging habits that hint at a growing demand, or inefficiencies in a system that could be improved. They understand that every frustration is a business opportunity in disguise. The world is full of unmet needs waiting to be fulfilled by someone perceptive enough to notice. Vision also requires courage. Seeing what others cannot is only half the battle. Acting on that insight is where wealth is often won or lost. Visionaries frequently face skepticism, criticism, and resistance. Others may mock their ideas or doubt their ambitions, but those who ultimately succeed learn to trust their instincts and to validate their ideas through experimentation rather than public opinion. In that sense, vision is inseparable from conviction. The willingness to pursue an idea before it's popular is often what separates the wealthy innovator from the hesitant dreamer. Another key aspect of vision is imagination paired with practicality. People imagine big and then break those ideas down into steps. They understand that wealth isn't created by dreaming alone. It emerges from translating imagination into real-world solutions. Visionaries balance creativity with execution. They can picture a better future, but they also possess the discipline to build it piece by piece. Interestingly, vision can be cultivated. While some people appear naturally visionary, most develop their foresight over time. They read widely, pay attention to emerging trends, stay curious, and avoid becoming mentally rigid. They train themselves to see patterns and possibilities and to challenge assumptions. They constantly ask questions. Why is this done this way? Could it be simpler? Better? Faster? These questions unlock new paths that the average person never considers. The wealth that springs from vision often comes with a ripple effect. Visionaries create not only value for themselves, but solutions that transform industries, empower communities, or improve daily life. Their ideas expand what's possible for everyone. Even when their initial concept fails, the process builds a sharper intuition that prepares them for the next opportunity. Ultimately, vision is a superpower available to anyone willing to cultivate it. It requires openness, curiosity, and a mind unconstrained by convention. People who strike it rich don't always start with money, they start with insight. They see a future that others are too distracted, too doubtful, or too comfortable to imagine, and then they step forward boldly to create it. When vision meets action, wealth becomes not just possible, but inevitable. Chapter 2 Relentless Work Ethic. If vision plants the seed of wealth, relentless work ethic is the force that nurtures it into reality. Many people have dreams, ideas, and ambitions, but those who strike it rich consistently take action day after day, long after the initial excitement fades. Wealth does not grow from inspiration alone. It grows from discipline, endurance, and the willingness to push forward when others slow down. A relentless work ethic is not about working blindly or burning out. It is about showing up with intention. The individuals who achieve extraordinary success approach work with a level of commitment that others find difficult to maintain. They understand that mastery takes time, that momentum builds slowly, and that sustained effort compounds like interest. In their world, consistency beats occasional bursts of motivation every time. These individuals view work not as a burden, but as an investment. They are willing to put in long hours learning a craft, refining a skill, or building a business often before there is any promise of reward. They recognize that unseen effort eventually becomes visible results. While others retreat at the first sign of difficulty, they lean in, knowing that challenge is the gateway to progress. A strong work ethic is often rooted in a simple belief: no one else is going to build your dream for you. Wealthy achievers embrace this responsibility fully. They don't wait for perfect conditions or ideal timing. They work with what they have. They take the next step, even when the path ahead is unclear. And as they do, they develop an internal resilience that becomes one of their greatest assets. Relentless workers also understand the importance of learning. They read, study, and seek mentors. They treat each day as a chance to grow a little sharper, a little smarter, a little better. Their work ethic is powered by a hunger for improvement, not only to get ahead, but to become the kind of person capable of handling greater opportunities. They know that wealth without wisdom often disappears, so they build both. Another distinguishing factor is the ability to focus. While many people scatter their energy across distractions, those with a strong work ethic channel their effort toward meaningful goals. They prioritize. They eliminate noise. They choose depth over superficial productivity. In a world filled with endless entertainment, constant notifications, and quick rewards, the discipline to focus becomes a competitive advantage few possess. A relentless work ethic is not glamorous. Much of it happens behind the scenes: late nights studying numbers, early mornings practicing a craft, hours spent refining an idea others believe is doomed to fail. It includes setbacks, self-doubt, and the occasional temptation to quit. But those who ultimately strike it rich understand a powerful truth: if you keep showing up, you cannot help but improve, and improvement eventually leads to opportunity. What outsiders often misinterpret as overnight success is usually the result of years of unnoticed effort. People see the mansion, the business, the lifestyle, but they don't see the sacrifices, the missed parties, the early failures, or the relentless nights of work that made it possible. Wealthy individuals aren't necessarily more talented. They are simply more committed. Importantly, relentless work ethic is not about grinding endlessly without rest. The most successful people learn to recharge, delegate, and balance intensity with recovery. What makes their work ethic remarkable is not the number of hours they work, but the consistency and purpose behind those hours. They work with intention, not desperation. In the end, relentless work ethic is about taking responsibility for the future you want. It is about refusing to settle, refusing to coast, and refusing to let obstacles dictate your destiny. People who strike it rich are often willing to do what others won't, to endure discomfort, to persist through monotony, to outlearn, outwork, and outlast the competition. They understand that success is not a single event, but a daily choice. While talent, luck, and timing all play roles in success, the enduring foundation of wealth is built through effort. Those who work relentlessly are not guaranteed riches, but those who strike it rich almost always share this trait. Their achievements are not accidents. They are the natural outcome of years of consistent, deliberate, and determined action. Chapter 3: Taking Calculated Risks. Wealth rarely comes to those who play life completely safe. Most people crave certainty: stable jobs, predictable routines, familiar environments. Yet those who strike it rich understand a fundamental truth: every reward carries a degree of risk. The difference is that wealthy individuals don't gamble. They take calculated risks, actions based on analysis, insight, and strategy rather than impulse or blind luck. A calculated risk begins with information. Before making a major move, successful people gather data, observe patterns, and study the terrain with precision. They ask hard questions. What's the downside? What's the probability of success? What resources must I commit? What's my backup plan? They don't avoid risk, they manage it intelligently. This distinction is crucial. While many fear what they cannot control, the wealthy focus on what they can control, reducing uncertainty through preparation. Taking calculated risks often requires the courage to be misunderstood. When you pursue an unconventional opportunity, people will question you. They will warn you, sometimes projecting their own fears onto your ambitions. Those who become wealthy learn to differentiate between caution and limitation. They listen to advice, but they make their own decisions. They trust their research, intuition, and ability to adapt. And they understand that waiting until a decision feels completely safe is often the same as waiting until the opportunity is gone. Risk-taking also means embracing discomfort. Growth does not happen in familiar territory. When you stretch beyond what you know, starting a business, investing in an idea, switching careers, you expose yourself to uncertainty, but you also expose yourself to possibility. Wealthy individuals become comfortable with discomfort. They learn to operate under pressure, navigate ambiguity, and keep moving even when outcomes are not guaranteed. A key element of calculated risk is starting small and scaling gradually. Wealthy individuals rarely begin by betting everything. They test the waters, launching a small version of a business, investing modest amounts, or experimenting with prototypes. These small-scale tests provide feedback, reduce exposure to failure, and allow them to refine their strategies. Only when evidence supports the opportunity do they commit fully. This approach transforms risk from a leap of faith into a series of informed steps. Of course, not all risks pay off. Failure is an inevitable companion in the pursuit of wealth. But what differentiates the wealthy is how they respond when things go wrong. Instead of retreating, they analyze what happened. They extract lessons. They adjust their strategy and try again, more informed than before. Every failure sharpens their understanding, making their future risks even more calculated. In this way, risk-taking becomes a cycle of learning, not a one-time event. It's also important to understand that avoiding risk is itself a risk. A stable job can become unstable overnight. A safe investment can erode silently through inflation. A refusal to evolve can leave a person obsolete. Wealthy individuals recognize that inaction can be more dangerous than action. They choose to take risks on their own terms, rather than be forced into them by changing circumstances. Another vital component is timing. The wealthy understand that two people can take the same risk and experience dramatically different outcomes depending on when they act. Timing requires awareness, watching market trends, studying consumer behavior, and understanding economic cycles. They know when to move fast, when to wait, and when to pivot. This sensitivity to timing is not luck. It is the product of preparation and observation. Ultimately, calculated risk-taking is less about bravery and more about perspective. Wealthy individuals view risk not as a threat, but as a gateway. They see beyond the immediate fear and focus on the long-term potential. They understand that striking it rich is rarely the result of staying in the comfort zone. It is the result of stepping deliberately into the unknown with preparation, strategy, and confidence. Those who take calculated risks accept that the future cannot be guaranteed, but neither can it be conquered by hesitation. Wealth favors the bold, but only those bold enough to think deeply, act wisely, and commit fully. It is this combination, courage paired with calculation, that transforms uncertain opportunities into life-changing wealth. Chapter 4: Mastering a High-Value Skill. In a world overflowing with talent, information, and competition, wealth often flows to those who commit themselves to mastering a single high-value skill. This mastery, achieved through years of deliberate practice, curiosity, and discipline, creates a level of expertise that sets individuals apart from the crowd. While many people dabble in dozens of pursuits, those who strike it rich often go deep rather than wide. A high-value skill is not necessarily something glamorous or rare. It is simply a skill that solves an important problem, commands high demand, and is difficult for others to replicate. Coding, selling, negotiating, writing, designing, leading, analyzing, inventing — these are all high-value skills when taken to the level of mastery. The wealthy understand that specialization is a form of leverage. The more skilled they become, the more the world bends to accommodate their value. Mastery begins with the decision to focus. In an age of distraction, committing to one skill for an extended period feels almost radical. But this commitment is precisely what creates extraordinary results. Wealthy individuals choose a skill that aligns with their strengths and passions, then dive into it with relentless determination. They don't just practice, they study, analyze, and refine. They seek mentors, resources, and environments that accelerate their growth. Over time, their skill compounds, much like money in an investment account. But mastery is more than technical ability. It requires resilience. There are long stretches where improvement feels slow or invisible, where frustration rises and progress seems to stall. Most people quit during these periods, assuming they lack talent. They misunderstand the process. The wealthy, however, understand that mastery is not linear. They push through stagnation, knowing these plateaus are necessary steps toward breakthrough performance. Their persistence transforms ordinary talent into extraordinary capability. Another advantage of mastering a high-value skill is the autonomy it creates. Experts are not easily replaceable. Their competence gives them bargaining power, higher pay, better clients, flexible schedules, and the freedom to choose their opportunities. In many cases, mastery becomes the foundation for entrepreneurship. A skilled software developer starts a tech company. A master salesperson builds a multi-million-dollar agency. A financial strategist launches a successful investing firm. The skill becomes the engine that powers wealth creation. Mastery also builds confidence. Once someone becomes exceptional at one thing, they begin to trust their ability to learn anything. This confidence is magnetic. It attracts allies, collaborators, investors, and customers. People want to work with individuals who clearly know what they're doing. And confidence, combined with capability, often creates opportunities that remain invisible to those who remain generalists. One of the most overlooked aspects of mastery is its ability to scale. A beginner trades time for money, 1 hour, 1 payment. A master often finds ways to multiply their output. They create courses, write books, build products, lead teams, or design systems that allow their skill to reach thousands or millions. Mastery unlocks leverage, and leverage unlocks wealth. Importantly, mastery is a continuous process. The world evolves, industries shift, and skills become outdated. Those who become wealthy understand that they must evolve with their craft. They stay curious. They experiment. They seek new insights, new techniques, new technologies. Their commitment to lifelong learning ensures their value never diminishes. If anything, it expands. Perhaps the most empowering truth is that mastery is accessible to anyone. It does not require luck, privilege, or genius. It requires time, focus, and deliberate practice. The path to mastery is demanding but also predictable. If you commit to getting 1% better each day, improvement becomes inevitable and expertise becomes only a matter of time. By mastering a high-value skill, individuals don't just create wealth, they create identity, purpose, and independence. They position themselves as indispensable contributors in a world that rewards excellence. For many who strike it rich, their skill becomes their signature, their currency, and ultimately, their legacy. Mastery doesn't guarantee wealth, but it opens a door to it that few other paths can match. Those who walk through that door do so with a skill forged through dedication, sharpened by experience, and strengthened by persistence. And once they possess that skill, the world becomes a place filled with opportunity. Chapter 5: Leverage, using systems, tools, and people. If hard work builds momentum, leverage multiplies it. Leverage is the quiet force behind nearly every major fortune in history. It is the ability to accomplish disproportionately large results with comparatively small amounts of personal effort. Those who strike it rich understand that wealth is not created solely by working harder, it is created by working smarter, using systems, tools, money, and people to amplify what they can achieve. Leverage begins with a simple realization: there is a limit to how much one person can do alone. Time is finite, energy fluctuates, and human stamina has boundaries. Without leverage, income scales only with personal effort: 1 hour, 1 paycheck, 1 task, 1 outcome. But with leverage, effort compounds. What once required hours can be automated. What once required personal involvement can be delegated. What once felt impossible suddenly becomes manageable. There are several types of leverage, and wealthy individuals understand how to use them all. The first type is technological leverage. Today, tools from software to automation to artificial intelligence allow one person to perform the work of an entire team. Technology can send personalized emails to thousands, manage finances automatically, analyze data in seconds, or run complex systems with minimal oversight. Those who strike it rich embrace technology early. They look for tools that save time, reduce errors, and create consistent results. They understand that every hour saved is an hour freed for higher-level thinking and growth. The second type is systems leverage. Systems are repeatable processes that produce reliable results. Wealthy individuals build systems for everything: how they manage money, how they handle customers, how they create products, how they solve problems. Instead of reinventing the wheel each time, they create frameworks that run predictably, sometimes even without them. A solid system turns chaos into order and allows a business or career to scale without collapsing under pressure. Systems make success sustainable. The third type is financial leverage. Money, when used strategically, is one of the most powerful forms of leverage. The wealthy invest in assets that work for them: stocks, real estate, businesses, so that income flows even when they aren't actively working. They understand the difference between spending and investing. Money becomes a tool that multiplies itself, transforming effort into exponential returns. Instead of trading time for money, they let money buy back time. The fourth and most intricate type is people leverage. No one becomes wealthy in isolation. The wealthy surround themselves with capable individuals, employees, partners, advisors, mentors, and collaborators whose strengths complement their own. People leverage is not about exploiting labor. It's about aligning incentives so that everyone wins. When a team works together, ideas grow faster, problems are solved quicker, and opportunities expand. A single person can only climb a hill. A coordinated team can move mountains. What distinguishes wealthy individuals is their mindset around leverage. Instead of asking, "How can I get this done?" they ask, "How can this get done without me?" This shift is transformative. It turns ambition into reality by removing the bottleneck of personal limitations. Leverage frees them to focus on strategy instead of execution, vision instead of repetition. However, leveraging effectively requires trust, humility, and the willingness to let go of control. Many people avoid delegation because they fear mistakes or believe no one can perform a task as well as they can. Yet the wealthy understand that perfectionism is the enemy of scale. They accept that growth involves minor imperfections. They teach, empower, and guide rather than micromanage. This leadership mindset allows them to expand far beyond what they could accomplish alone. Leverage also demands patience. Building systems, hiring the right people, or investing in technology takes time. The wealthy view these efforts as long-term investments that pay off exponentially in the future. While others chase immediate gratification, wealthy individuals build foundations that support sustained growth. Ultimately, leverage is the bridge between effort and abundance. It transforms one person's capabilities into a force far greater than themselves. It is the multiplier that turns skill into systems, ideas into enterprises, and ambition into fortune. People who strike it rich are not necessarily the smartest or hardest working. They are simply the ones who understand how to amplify their impact. They know that wealth is rarely achieved alone. It is achieved through thoughtful leverage, the art of turning limited resources into unlimited possibilities. Chapter 6: Mastering Money Wisely. Getting rich isn't just about earning more, it's about keeping what you earn, growing it intelligently, and putting it to work with purpose. Many people see their income rise but never see their wealth grow because they overlook a simple truth: money isn't merely for spending, it's for managing. Wealthy individuals approach money differently. They assign a purpose to every dollar, a role to every investment, and consider the long-term effects of every financial choice. Smart money management isn't limiting, it's liberating. It builds security, opens doors to opportunities, and can create wealth that lasts generations. The first cornerstone of intelligent money management is recognizing the difference between assets and liabilities. Assets bring money in: investments, property, businesses, intellectual property, and interest-earning accounts. Liabilities drain money: debt, extravagant purchases, depreciating items, or unnecessary expenses. Those who accumulate wealth intentionally focus on assets while controlling liabilities. They know that every dollar spent on a liability is a dollar that could have grown instead. Another key principle is living below your means, especially in the early stages of wealth accumulation. This isn't about self-denial, it's about discipline. Many people fall into the trap of lifestyle inflation, earning more only to spend more, trapped in a cycle of working to maintain appearances. Wealthy individuals resist this urge. They enhance their lifestyle only after their investments generate reliable returns. They understand that the gap between income and expenses is the seed of future wealth. Savvy money managers also recognize the value of budgeting and monitoring cash flow, not in a restrictive, obsessive way, but to understand patterns, optimize spending, and ensure money moves where it should. They automate savings, schedule investments, and design systems so their wealth grows naturally, without relying solely on willpower. Tools, spreadsheets, or financial advisors aren't there to constrain them, they provide clarity, and clarity is the foundation of control. Investing early and consistently is another cornerstone. Wealthy individuals grasp the power of compound growth and act on it promptly. They invest in stocks, bonds, index funds, real estate, or businesses with a long-term horizon. They avoid chasing quick wins, favoring steady growth over time. Even small, regular contributions compound into substantial wealth. Investing, for them, is a lifestyle, not a one-time event. Managing risk and diversification is equally critical. No single investment should threaten your financial foundation. Wealthy people spread their capital across asset types, industries, and markets. They balance high-reward opportunities with stable, lower-risk investments. Diversification isn't about avoiding risk, it's about controlling it strategically. A smart approach to debt is essential as well. Not all debt is harmful. Wealthy individuals distinguish between good debt that generates returns like loans for property or business expansion and bad debt that erodes cash flow, such as high-interest consumer debt. They use credit as a tool to grow wealth, never as a shortcut or emotional decision. Building multiple income streams is another defining trait. Wealthy people don't depend on a single paycheck or investment. They layer income sources, active and passive, so their financial security doesn't hinge on one channel. This could include businesses, rentals, dividends, royalties, consulting, or automated online ventures. True financial resilience comes from diversity, not just in investments, but in income. Smart money management also means planning for taxes, emergencies, insurance, and protection against financial setbacks. Wealthy individuals safeguard what they've built. They work with experts to minimize taxes, maintain emergency funds, and secure insurance against major losses. This planning ensures unexpected events don't derail their progress. Perhaps most importantly, mindset shapes financial success. Wealthy individuals view money as a tool, not a status symbol. They respect its power but are not enslaved by it. They know wealth grows through patience, awareness, and consistent choices. They take responsibility for their financial lives, avoid excuses, and use money intentionally to create freedom, opportunity, and impact. In the end, smart money management is the quiet engine behind lasting wealth. It distinguishes fleeting success from lifelong security. Without it, even a high income can vanish. With it, even modest earnings can build substantial wealth. Those who achieve real financial freedom share one habit: they treat money with wisdom, discipline, and purpose, letting it work for them long after they stop working for it. Chapter 7: Resilience: Transforming Setbacks into Momentum. If there's a single quality that most self-made wealthy people share, it's resilience, the capacity to recover swiftly, adapt thoughtfully, and keep moving forward in the face of obstacles. Many envision the road to wealth as a smooth, linear ascent fueled by good decisions and perfect timing. The truth, however, is far more jagged. Success is rarely linear, and those who achieve it don't avoid failure, they confront it directly and convert it into fuel. True resilience isn't just surviving, it's mastering adversity. Failure is inevitable and uncomfortable. The distinction between those who rise and those who remain stagnant isn't the number of setbacks they encounter, but how they respond to them. For many, setbacks, whether a failed investment, a rejected proposal, or a disappointing launch, signal a reason to retreat. The wealthy, by contrast, treat failure as insight. They take losses seriously but never personally. They analyze missteps, extract lessons, refine their approach, and press onward with renewed clarity. Resilience is not innate, it's cultivated. It grows through challenge and a refusal to allow hardships to dictate the future. Each obstacle becomes a training ground. Rather than asking, "Why is this happening to me?" the resilient ask, "What is this teaching me?" This shift in perspective transforms barriers into stepping stones and setbacks into opportunities for growth. Emotional control is a critical element of resilience. Successful individuals learn to manage fear, frustration, embarrassment, and disappointment. They don't let fleeting emotions dictate permanent decisions. When a business idea falters, they don't abandon entrepreneurship. When an investment dips, they don't swear off investing entirely. They pause, reflect, recalibrate, and continue. This emotional steadiness allows them to stay focused on long-term goals, even when immediate outcomes are discouraging. Adaptability is another cornerstone. Markets evolve, technologies advance, and consumer behaviors shift. Wealthy people remain flexible. They reinvent themselves when necessary, update their skills, pivot strategies, and remain open to innovation. Adaptability prevents stagnation and ensures that opportunities persist even when conditions change. Resilient individuals also embrace accountability. Rather than blaming others or circumstances, they look inward, asking how they could have acted differently, what they can improve, and what knowledge or skills they need to acquire. Ownership empowers them. Believing you can influence outcomes also means believing you can change them. Excuses may protect the ego, but they halt progress. Support networks are equally vital. Even the most resilient need encouragement, guidance, and perspective. Wealthy people surround themselves with mentors, peers, and advisors who challenge and hold them accountable. These relationships reinforce emotional resilience, reminding them that setbacks are normal, solvable, and temporary. A resilient person is not someone who never stumbles, but someone who never faces challenges alone. Patience is often overlooked yet essential. True success rarely happens overnight. Wealth builders understand that growth is gradual, momentum accumulates slowly, and breakthroughs often follow periods of apparent inactivity. They persist through waiting, trusting the process. Slow progress is not failure, it's preparation. Ultimately, resilience is a deliberate choice. It's choosing to move forward when quitting seems easier, to learn when blaming is tempting, to adapt when resisting feels natural. It's refusing to let temporary defeat dictate permanent outcomes. Every major success story is punctuated with moments when giving up would have been simplest, but the individual chose to continue. Resilience quietly powers wealth. It transforms uncertainty into opportunity, errors into insight, and adversity into strength. Wealth is not the result of avoiding failure, it comes from refusing to be defined by it. Vision sparks wealth, skill grows it, leverage expands it, but resilience sustains it when the journey becomes difficult. In the end, resilience isn't merely about returning to where you were. It's about bouncing forward stronger, wiser, and better prepared for what lies ahead. Chapter 8: Building Strategic Relationships. No one becomes wealthy entirely alone. Behind nearly every success story is a network of people, mentors, partners, collaborators, investors, and advisors whose influence, guidance, and support amplify effort and create opportunities. Strategic relationships are a powerful, often underestimated factor in striking it rich. While talent, vision, and skill matter, the ability to connect meaningfully with the right people can accelerate wealth far beyond what individual effort alone can achieve. Strategic relationships begin with intentional networking. Wealthy individuals do not simply attend events or collect business cards. They cultivate connections thoughtfully. They focus on people whose skills, knowledge, or influence complement their own. They look for those who share similar values, ambitions, or a mindset of growth. These relationships are mutually beneficial. Wealth is rarely built from one-sided interactions, but from collaborations where both parties gain value. Mentorship is a cornerstone of strategic relationships. Mentors offer guidance, accelerate learning, and provide perspectives that only experience can bring. People who strike it rich actively seek mentors, study their approaches, and apply lessons carefully. They recognize that 1 hour of advice from a seasoned expert can save years of trial and error. At the same time, they respect mentors' time and expertise, cultivating relationships based on trust, humility, and reciprocity. Partnerships are another critical dimension. Many fortunes are built collaboratively, not solo. Partnerships allow individuals to combine complementary strengths, technical expertise paired with marketing prowess, operational skill combined with financial acumen, creativity balanced with strategy. Wealthy individuals understand the power of leveraging talent through partnership. They select collaborators carefully, ensuring alignment in vision, ethics, and commitment, and they structure partnerships so that incentives are clear, fair, and motivating. Strategic relationships also extend to investors and advisors. Access to capital is often the difference between an idea that remains small and one that scales exponentially. Those who strike it rich cultivate relationships with investors, lenders, and advisors long before they need them. They understand that credibility, reputation, and trust are currency in these interactions. By establishing rapport early, demonstrating competence, and consistently delivering value, they ensure that when an opportunity arises, resources are available to seize it. Another important element is learning from peers and competitors. Wealthy individuals do not isolate themselves from their industry or community. They observe, engage, and exchange insights. They learn from others' successes and failures, expanding their knowledge without incurring unnecessary risk. Strategic relationships often involve a mix of collaboration and healthy competition, providing motivation, innovation, and accountability. A key principle of building these relationships is generosity and reciprocity. Wealthy individuals understand that connections thrive when value flows both ways. They offer help, share insights, provide introductions, and celebrate others' successes. This creates goodwill and a reputation that attracts opportunities naturally. People gravitate toward those who lift others while pursuing their own goals, and these relationships often evolve into business deals, partnerships, or mentorships that accelerate wealth creation. Trust is the glue that binds all strategic relationships. Wealthy individuals are deliberate about whom they trust and how they maintain that trust. They are reliable, transparent, and consistent in their actions. Broken trust is costly, often more than money can replace. Building relationships with integrity ensures that collaborations endure even when challenges arise. Timing is also crucial. Strategic relationships matter most when nurtured over time. A casual connection today can become a key collaborator, investor, or mentor tomorrow. Those who strike it rich maintain and cultivate their networks long before they need anything, recognizing that wealth often comes from being in the right place with the right person at the right time, and that place is often created by relationships. Ultimately, wealth grows faster and more sustainably through others. The right people open doors, offer insights, provide resources, and create opportunities invisible to the isolated individual. People who strike it rich understand that while effort, skill, and vision are essential, the multiplier effect of relationships can transform a good idea into a fortune. Building strategic relationships is not about manipulation or superficial charm. It is about creating genuine, mutually beneficial connections, grounded in trust, generosity, and alignment of purpose. In the long run, these relationships often become the invisible scaffolding that supports lasting wealth and success. Chapter 9: Creating Value at Scale. While skill, effort, and relationships matter, the most transformative driver of wealth is the ability to create value at scale. Striking it rich rarely comes from solving small, isolated problems. It comes from addressing needs that impact many people. The larger the audience or the broader the impact of a solution, the greater the potential for wealth. In essence, wealth is often the natural reward for creating widespread value. Creating value at scale begins with understanding people's problems. The wealthy observe patterns in behavior, unmet needs, or inefficiencies that affect groups, communities, or entire markets. They ask, what frustrates people repeatedly? What solutions could improve lives on a large scale? By focusing on problems that touch many, they create solutions with multiplying effects. Small, niche solutions may generate modest income, but scalable solutions generate substantial wealth. Once a valuable opportunity is identified, execution becomes critical. People who strike it rich think in terms of systems and processes. They design solutions that can reach many people without proportionally increasing effort. For example, a software product can serve thousands of users simultaneously. A digital course or book can be sold endlessly with minimal incremental cost. In each case, the creator's time and effort are multiplied by the reach of the solution. This is the essence of scale, creating one asset that produces benefits for countless people. Scalability also requires innovation and differentiation. To reach a broad audience, solutions must stand out. Wealthy individuals innovate, offering improvements, unique approaches, or entirely new products that address unmet demands. They recognize that a small, clever differentiation can convert a good idea into a game-changing solution. The ability to combine creativity with execution allows them to dominate markets and create lasting impact. Another key aspect is leveraging distribution channels. A solution, no matter how valuable, must reach its audience to generate wealth. Successful individuals understand the power of networks, technology, marketing, and partnerships to distribute their offerings widely. They build systems that amplify reach: social media, sales teams, marketplaces, or online platforms so that a single solution can touch thousands, if not millions, of people. Without scale, even a brilliant idea remains just an idea. Creating value at scale also demands a long-term mindset. Wealthy individuals prioritize sustainable solutions that endure. They focus on quality, reputation, and trust, knowing that broad impact depends on credibility. Short-term exploitation of a market may generate temporary income, but sustainable wealth requires creating products, services, or systems that continue to deliver value over time. Repeatable value is the engine of compounding wealth. Risk management plays a role as well. Scaling often involves investment in production, marketing, or distribution, and not every venture succeeds. People who strike it rich balance ambition with prudence. They experiment, test, and iterate before committing fully, ensuring that when scale is pursued, it is supported by evidence and planning. This approach maximizes upside while controlling downside. Importantly, value creation at scale is not limited to tangible products. Services, ideas, intellectual property, and digital platforms all qualify. A well-crafted service that serves hundreds, a piece of software that reaches thousands, or an online platform with global reach can all generate massive wealth. The principle is the same: the greater the number of people positively affected, the greater the potential reward. Creating value at scale also requires vision and leadership. A single individual cannot manage large-scale impact alone. Those who strike it rich build teams, systems, and structures that ensure solutions can grow efficiently. They empower others to execute while maintaining a clear vision for quality, purpose, and impact. Scaling is as much about people and systems as it is about the original idea. Ultimately, wealth is a reflection of the magnitude of value delivered. The more lives you improve, the more money flows naturally in return. Those who strike it rich understand this principle intuitively. By focusing on impact over income, they create solutions that multiply their efforts, influence, and financial rewards. Creating value at scale transforms ideas into legacies, effort into exponential results, and ambition into lasting wealth. Chapter 10: Timing, Luck, and Being Ready for Opportunity. Even the most talented, hardworking, and innovative individuals cannot control every factor in the pursuit of wealth. Timing and luck play undeniable roles. Yet, while these forces may appear random, those who strike it rich understand a critical truth: luck favors the prepared mind, and timing can be influenced by foresight, strategy, and readiness. Wealth often emerges when preparation meets opportunity. Timing is one of the most underappreciated elements of success. The world changes constantly, industries evolve, technologies emerge, economies fluctuate, and cultural trends shift. Those who become wealthy cultivate awareness of these currents. They anticipate change, study patterns, and position themselves in advance. They recognize that acting too early can waste resources, while acting too late can mean missing a window entirely. Strategic timing ensures that effort aligns with opportunity, amplifying results. Luck, though often described as random, is rarely entirely accidental in the lives of the wealthy. People who strike it rich create conditions where luck can find them. They expand networks, explore new ventures, experiment with ideas, and embrace risk intelligently. By being active rather than passive, they increase the probability that chance encounters, unforeseen opportunities, or favorable market shifts will benefit them. In this sense, luck is not just a matter of fortune. It is the intersection of action, visibility, and readiness. Preparation is the key that transforms timing and luck into tangible outcomes. A person may stumble upon a brilliant idea, meet a potential investor, or encounter a market gap, but without skill, knowledge, and readiness, opportunity is wasted. Wealthy individuals continuously hone their skills, build systems, and cultivate resources so that when the moment arrives, they are equipped to seize it fully. They understand that opportunity favors the competent and confident, not the timid or unprepared. Being ready also requires mental flexibility and decisiveness. Opportunities often appear in unexpected forms and at inconvenient times. The wealthy maintain clarity of vision while remaining adaptable. They quickly assess potential, calculate risk, and act decisively. Hesitation or overanalysis can turn potential fortune into regret. Those who strike it rich are prepared to act swiftly when the situation aligns with their skills, resources, and strategic goals. Another crucial aspect is the willingness to embrace uncertainty. Opportunity often comes with ambiguity, incomplete information, or unconventional paths. Those who become wealthy are comfortable making informed bets without guarantees. They mitigate risk through preparation, but they do not wait for perfect clarity. Understanding that uncertainty is inherent in all meaningful ventures allows them to capitalize where others hesitate. Timing, luck, and preparation also intersect in the cultivation of relationships. Being connected to the right people at the right time often determines whether an opportunity becomes reality. Strategic relationships, as discussed in Chapter 8, position individuals to benefit from unforeseen opportunities. A mentor's guidance, a partner's insight, or an investor's timely support can transform potential into success. Those who strike it rich understand that opportunity is rarely solitary, it is relational, and readiness multiplies its impact. Finally, perspective matters. While many attribute wealth entirely to effort, ignoring luck and timing, the truly successful recognize the interplay of multiple factors. They remain humble in their achievements, aware that favorable circumstances, market timing, economic trends, or chance encounters have played roles alongside their skill and work ethic. Yet, they also know that without preparation, none of these external factors would matter. Being ready allows chance to become choice. In conclusion, timing, luck, and readiness are the final pieces of the wealth puzzle. Success is rarely purely sequential. It is the convergence of vision, skill, work ethic, leverage, relationships, value creation, resilience, and preparation synchronized with the currents of opportunity. Those who strike it rich do not wait passively for fortune to smile. They position themselves thoughtfully, act decisively, and continuously prepare. And when opportunity arises, sometimes unexpectedly, they are poised to turn it into lasting wealth.